Here I am on a frozen morning, talking about Uriah Heep. Hi guys, this is not the Weather Channel talking about the weather. I want to talk about Uriah Heep's 50th anniversary concert that I went to see yesterday. I want to tell you all about it, if you should go and see it, and a little bit about the band and all that stuff, just to get some context. But it is a frozen morning and a very cold one. So Uriah Heep was founded 1969 in London, and it's one of those bands when, I checked it, the singer has been there since 86, but he's the new guy, 86. The only member that has been in the band from the beginning is Mick Box. It's a kind of a cool name, he's the guitar player. And then you have Phil Lanzon on keyboards, and he sings also a lot. Bernie Shaw is the new guy in the band, been there since 86. Him and the keyboard player have both been since 86. And then Russell Gilbrook on drums from 2007. He's 58 years old. He's the second youngest member. And Davey Rimmer, what a name, Rimmer. He's the bassist. He's 54. He's the kid in the band. And yeah, this is kind of like, Mick Box is 75. I think Phil Lanzon on the keyboard is 72. Bernie Shaw is 66. Then, yeah, we got the drummer 58 and the bass player 54. So these are no kids, and they have done 24 studio albums so far, and 20 live albums, I think, and 41 compilation albums. I mean, that's a lot of albums. They've sold over 40 million copies worldwide. So it's a huge band. And a bit of a trivia for you guys before we start. What does Uriah Heep mean, actually, the term? I will tell you at the end, but if you know, then please comment and let me know. And while you're commenting, then, subscribe to the channel, all that usual stuff. So me and Uriah Heep, I was never like a big fan, and actually I knew about the band. It's kind of one of those bands that you heard in when people were talking Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, and all that stuff when I was a kid. But I wasn't a fan. There was this one guy that I was working with. He was driving a truck, and he sometimes would kind of trick me into the truck to give me cigarettes. And while I was smoking my cigarettes, filter-free Camels, like the real stuff, then he would play me Uriah Heep, and he usually played, Easy Living and Gypsy and those songs that I think kind of everybody knows. But apart from that, I didn't really know a lot about them. And but when I saw the concert was coming up, then I was thinking, okay, yeah, well, it's probably the last time that they will go around the sun, and I gotta see this. It's one of those kind of big names in the industry, and I should, if it's not now, then it's never. So the concert was here in Prague in a nice concert hall called Forum Karlin, and yeah, I mean, it was a little bit less people than I expected. I somehow thought that this would be completely sold out. It wasn't, and I think it takes like 4,000 people, this place, and yeah, probably like half sold. The crowd was interesting. I kind of enjoyed myself being the youngster in the crowd. It's not often that happens when I go to concerts, and I spoke to one, actually. I met a guy that I know, and he could have been someone's grandson, actually. Let's check out what Philip had to say. So guys, I'm here with Philip. Philip, hi, how are you?
Great, thank you.
Yeah, I'm very good. So, have you seen this band, Uriah Heep, before?
Yeah, I saw them first time on the Masters of Rock.
Yeah?
It was my first time.
And how was it?
It was amazing.
Yeah?
Great players. Really, see the years of playing and everything. It's perfect.
So we're gonna get a good gig tonight?
Yeah, of course.
And what's gonna be your favorite song here?
Of course, Lady in the Black.
Lady in Black. Over and out, guys. Thank you, Philip.
Hi.
So this concert actually kind of started early. I guess it's to respect the bedtime of the visitors, and there was no opening act. So, but it started at 7, and it started with a really like a cool thing, because I love this idea actually. So they had these wishes from, or like messages from other bands that kind of rolled on the screen, and like it was Paul Stanley from Kiss, it was Deep Purple, Alice Cooper, Judas Priest, what's his name, the Jethro Tull guy, Ian Anderson, and some other people, Vanilla Fudge, and that was really, really cool. Let's see if some of that, because I really, really like that.
Hello, beautiful people. It's your old pal Bri here from the Naughty Queenies. Just want to say, have a fantastic 50th anniversary tour, guys.
Hi, this is Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull, and I'd like to take this opportunity to offer my hearty congratulations for 50 years of one of my very favourite pop groups of all time, Uriah and the Heeps.
All right, I put you up on my knife throwing board. Ooh, there goes the drummer. Oh.
Yeah, and watching these messages or these wishes from these other bands, I thought, okay, yeah, this is probably kind of like a band's band, you know, like a band that other bands like. And there are always going to be bands like this that are kind of, well, you can't really say that Uriah Heep is underground with 40 million albums sold, but it's still like, I don't know, I always felt it was kind of like a fringe band, you know, it wasn't completely mainstream somehow. And they were playing 2 sets on the night. The first one was an acoustic set of 8 songs, and I was kind of happy when I saw it, because I thought it could be interesting to kind of break it up a little bit, but it started really, really slowly, and I felt like a lot of the crowd, including myself, would have loved to have a seat while that was going on. And they did a bit of a storytelling there, which was nice, and could actually have been more, you know, like Mick Box, the guitar player, he spoke a little bit about the songs, what albums they were from, and what was the inspiration and stuff like that. But it actually could have been more. But it was a very, very slow program, and I thought, like, what the fuck did I get myself into? And what was Philip talking about earlier, you know, that it was a great gig that he had seen with them when he saw them at this Masters of Rock. And then, but yeah, I mean, the crowd kind of liked it. I mean, and actually, it's not always very lively here in Prague, you know, like, because of the English skills, which in this age group are even less than with younger crowds. So kind of surprised actually how happy the crowd was. The setup was very kind of minimal, you know, like there was basically, as you can see, just like very limited lights, and I think it could have been cool with a little bit more kind of projections maybe on the behind them from their career or something like that. I wasn't very impressed with this. I don't know, like, yeah, I think it could have been cooler if this would have been later on somehow, or in between, or I don't know how they could have done it. I will talk about that later, maybe a little bit. But the last 2 songs were good. I mean, it's not fair maybe to call it 2 songs, because they kind of glued together their song called The Wizard, Paradise and Circle of Hands, in kind of into like a medley, and then they ended up on The Lady in Black, and then the crowd just went mad. And I have 1 or 2 songs from that part here on the channel. So it kind of ended well, but I wasn't very pumped, you know, like, and I wasn't sure that I need actually more of this stuff. And then came the break, so I decided to go and look around a little bit, and then I found this museum that they had there, and let's see, I'll show you here a little bit about that, a video, and I had been kind of under the impression that this was the final gig or the final tour of this band. And I found out that, you know, they're coming out with a new album. So the 25th album is coming out next year. And the guy in the museum told me that there is no pause. I mean, yeah, there was stuff for Christmas, but then Mick will go on a tour with, I think, Joey Tempest and one more guy. And then there is the festivals in the summer, and then there is the tour for the new album in the autumn. And I was like, wow, you know, like, I just came off this acoustic set where I was like, this isn't really fun. So I thought, what the fuck are these guys trying, you know? So yeah, the break was like 30 minutes. I was looking at the museum, and then they came back on, and it was just like a different band, you know, like, it turns out that they had the whole setup behind like a curtain that was behind them when they were doing the acoustic set, and it really started off with a blast with a song called Against the Odds. It's from an album called Sea of Light that came out in '95. So it's kind of a new song, if you can say, from this band. And that was just like heavy metal, you know. And then I realized, okay, now I get what Philip was talking about. The singer was great. He hit all the high tones. He spoke a little bit of Czech. His wife apparently is Czech, and that went really well down with the crowd. So he was super, super engaging. And then as it kind of progressed on this kind of heavier or like the electric part, you know, like then I realized that this band is kind of a little bit of everything. It's kind of prog, hard rock, heavy metal, and there are kind of elements in this music that I feel that I hear in bands like Iron Maiden, or even in some of the more power metal bands, you know, like so there are songs like this, Between Two Worlds and Too Scared to Run and Free and Easy, that are just, I don't know, like they're not like classic rock if you look at it like that. And it has a little bit of this kind of Dungeons and Dragons feeling somehow, which I think is what has kind of put me off, or never got me, or let's say rather, it never really pulled me in somehow. But yeah, but it was cool actually, and I liked it, and it sounds great live. Actually, it felt better to listen to those songs live than it felt to listen to the playlist that I was listening to before I went to the show. The guitar player, Mick Box, he's just amazing. He it's so effortless, and his soloing is just it's great. And he uses this really cool Gibson Les Paul with a whammy bar. I'd never seen that before actually. The sound quality was kind of great from the moment they hit it. They really got that right. They nailed it. And the show was a complete kind of contrast to what was on before they started during the, let's say, the acoustic set. I mean, like that was very kind of low key, kind of like a Freemasons meeting or a funeral or something like that. So they had like lights, they had like a background, they had some of the album covers, and that was really cool. Yeah, the keyboard actually, it was interesting. They use it in kind of multiple ways. It sometimes had this kind of Hammond feel, sometimes it's more of a synthesizer, and it does a lot for this music somehow. It fills up because there's just one guitar, but the keyboard kind of fills the space, and it gives it really nice kind of tight thickness somehow. And on songs like Stealin', Sunrise, and of course Easy Living and July Morning, it really makes a huge difference. Drummer was really good. I mean, for a 58-year-old, he drums like he's 20. He is super energetic and very heavy. And I feel that often with those bands that are where the music isn't necessarily the heaviest thing, but often when they play live, they kind of allow the drummer to go off a little bit, or, you know, to unleash the beast. And they definitely did that with this one. So the set list was some 14 songs. I have some of them here on the channel, like, I don't know, 5-6 songs maybe. The crowd was very good, and the band had fun. You know, you could see that they enjoyed it. And it's always interesting to think about it when you've done something like this for 50 years, if it doesn't kind of get tiring. But I think there must be some sort of an energy that they're getting from the crowd, and just from being there together, doing their own music, you know, like that kind of overshadows the routine, you know, somehow. And what is interesting is that those bands that I've been seeing that have been playing around for a really long time, they're always so good, you know, like I guess 50 years of practice kind of pays off. So after the show, I met one fan. I actually tried to find someone to speak to, but I couldn't find anyone that spoke English. But I met one guy, and let's see what Stenik had to say about this. I am with Stenik here. Stenik, how was the concert?
Very light.
Very good.
Very good.
It's your favorite band?
Very good. Bad.
What was the best song?
Best song? Easy Living.
Easy Living. Okay, thank you, Stenik. Enjoy. Děkuju. So now to the moment we've all been waiting for, my verdict and recommendation if you should go and see this band live. First of all, I'm going to tell you what Uriah Heep means though. It means a falsely humble hypocrite. I'm not sure what that means, but at least that's what Uriah Heep means. So I'm gonna give this concert 8.5. I think you will have fun seeing this band, even if you don't necessarily like the music or know the music. It's that one of those shows, you know, where I feel that the band kind of gets you on board, even if you're not a huge fan. The pros of this is that these are amazing artists, you know, like instrument players, and it's just a good band, you know, like singer, drummer, keyboard, bass, guitar, everything is good. The songs are extremely diverse, so yeah, because it kind of went from kind of a heavy metal to more of a prog, and then a little bit into classic hard rock, and then again to the prog, you know, so it's kind of, there's never really a dull moment on this one. And it's a very good set list. I mean, if I take the whole thing, the 8 acoustic songs and the 14 electrified songs, I think they were off of 14 different albums, which is quite good. But they still delivered all the hits, which I think is important for a band like this, because I mean, I could see it in the crowd. There was a guy in front of me that just almost cried when they played Easy Living. And yeah, I think that the crowd and the band kind of played nicely off each other. I think it was really cool with the messages from the other bands in the beginning. I think that was like, yeah, it was nice to see that. And I have to give this band a credit, because with the keyboard, with a guitar player like this, with such a great drummer, you could easily kind of drag this kind of show out a little bit, have some soloing and go into some jamming, and they didn't really do that. I mean, on July Morning they did that in like 11 minutes, but there are versions of that on their albums as well. So I never felt that they dragged it out too long. And so for them, like a 3-minute song just took 3 minutes. They weren't trying to kind of squeeze the lemon more than necessarily. The negatives, the acoustic set was very, very slow, so it felt too long for me. I get it why they do it, but I think they could use it better. I think they could add more storytelling and history. They could have, I don't know, like put more projections behind them or something to engage the crowd a little bit more. And without the acoustic set, I probably would have given this concert like 9.5 even. Yeah, again, like one of those older bands that doesn't show any signs of slowing down. I've seen Scorpions, it's the same there. I have a feeling they came out with a new album last year. They show no signs of slowing down. I saw Udo Dirksnæder from Accept, you know, 72, 3 years old. Amazing concert. I actually have a review on that here on the channel. So the Rolling Stones, I have a review on that. I think they're making a new album. I mean, it's a different animal, but yeah, it's so nice to see that those people have been able to continue to do what they love to do. So I definitely recommend go and see Uriah Heep. It's by the sound of it, by the guy from the museum there, the guy that works there museum, and this band is not gonna slow down anytime soon, so you probably have a lot of chances to see them. Yeah, I have some more videos from the concert, of course. I have some more concert reviews, so if you're curious about some bands, and I have some album reviews as well. The best of lists are out there now. Go and see Uriah Heep. Thanks for watching. Like, share, comment, and all of that stuff. See you guys. Bye bye.